Hey YouTube, I'm Aaron Ross and welcome back to this week's episode where we are talking about the Fuji 18-55 kit lens and just how good it is. This week I decided to take the 18-55 lens, put it on the new Fuji X-T3. By the new, I mean new to me, because, you know, that's how time works. I decided to take this lens to the Chicago Fire soccer game. They're playing at Atlanta United, and it was actually a pretty good game. A lot of excitement, a lot happening in front of us, which really lent the game to being a good place to test out this lens. So why did I take this lens even though I have the 50-140-8? Obviously with that other lens I would be able to get a lot more zoom, a lot more reach in terms of getting some of those close-ups with the players. Unfortunately, I did not have like a media pass or anything in this game, so I was just a fan in the stands, and they do have some limits on camera equipment size and what can be taken into the stadium. So this is where this lens came in handy. It was the furthest reach, the furthest zoom that I had, and it's a variable zoom lens, so I was able to adapt it to the scenario and the photo that I wanted to take at the time. There were times where I wanted to get wide shots, there's times where I wanted to get a little bit closer. Obviously there were times where I did want to get a little bit closer, but just didn't have that in this 55mm lens, but that just kind of comes with the territory. In general, this lens really performed well. As you'll see, we're going to jump into some behind the scenes in a moment, and I'll talk through some of the photos I was able to capture, but the detail and the mood of the photos really, I think, captured the game and the environment really well. This is a lens that I do think can go into all sorts of scenarios that you may not know exactly what you need, and if you can only bring one lens, this would be it. I know it's the kit lens and a lot of people may look down upon a kit lens, but this has a variable aperture of 2.8 to 4, where most kit lenses are a little higher than that, usually a 3.5 to 5.6. And so you can open this up, you can let a little bit more light in. You know, on that zoom, you are stopping down a little bit to f4, but with the cameras that we have today, you can bump your ISO a little bit to compensate, and it's not a problem. So with that, let's hop into the behind the scenes and a voiceover of the Chicago Fire soccer game, and we will come back for a few final thoughts. So after those initial photos, just setting up the scene, there were actually quite a few goals pretty quickly. So as you can see, we were in the third row of this game, and that was a goal right there. I was able to get a solid celebration shots like this, also shots of the line judge here. I thought that was a unique image just from the angle that I had on him. As you can see here, they are kind of arguing there at the top of the box. It resulted in a yellow card, which you're going to see right there. I did get a photo of them arguing a little bit, but that sets up a penalty shot for the Chicago Fire. I'm going to let this play so you can see the glory that is a penalty shot. They then run over and celebrate. The guy in front of me did jump up, but that's not a problem. I tucked it around him. In this situation, I was able to get two different photos, one of the penalty shot itself and of the celebration afterwards. And although there was not a goal after this setup, there was quite a bit of foot action and passes, and was able to get a photo that looked pretty cool. Looked like it was a good setup. So that was probably about it for the first half of the game. I think most of the goals happened pretty quickly. I didn't have the camera rolling on all of it, but after that first half, since we knew most of the action was going to take place at the other end of the field, we walked around. I got a few different scene shots and detailed shots that really tell the full story of the Chicago Fire game that we went to that night. So as you can see, the 18 to 55 did hold up in that environment, allowed me to get a lot of really cool shots that I am proud of, that I'm excited to share here with you, and also just have as memories of going to that game. So although this is a lens that a lot of people may look down upon because it is a kit lens, I would recommend it. I do think that if you are getting into this Fuji system, that you should stick with the kit lens. It's a lens that's going to be really flexible and allow you to get shots that maybe not every one of your niche lenses are going to be able to get. I think this lens is a great walk around lens, walking around cities, walking around traveling, all of those types of things when again you don't know exactly what type of scenario you're going to be walking into, what the surroundings are going to look like. If you are going to want a little bit of that wider shot or a little bit more of that telephoto, this is really going to be a good all-around lens. I'll be open about the fact that when I was looking at the switch from Nikon to Fuji, this is the lens that I had the biggest question mark around. Is this something that I wanted to hold on to, or did I want to go with just the Fuji body and go ahead and skip this lens and maybe pick up something like the 23 f2? I did decide to go with this because I do find myself traveling and wanting something that is a little bit more flexible than a prime lens, although I do obviously love the prime lenses that Fuji produces. This was really a lens that I didn't think I could go without, and so far I have found myself using it. I have found myself being happy with the results, the images that it produces, and I don't think I would go back and change it. I don't regret picking up this lens. So let me know what you think. Tell me what photos you like the most, any critiques of the photos that I shared, and go ahead and hit the thumbs up, go ahead and subscribe, do all the things if you like it. If you don't, just, you know, I'm supposed to ask, just do it. It's easy, it's free, thanks. But again, until next time, just get started.